What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. Doctor Who, aside from being another captured franchise that alienated all of its fans and then took itself straight into ruination, trying to court the wrong group of people for the wrong reasons, you're still hearing from Russell T Davies. It's not coming back. It's going to be gone for at least several years. And even though we heard a little bit of rumors about possibly Netflix or Max trying to acquire the rights, that would most likely just be for streaming, not to actually pay for continued episodes, because the 2 seasons under Disney were just, yeah. And of course, we know why, for all the wrong reasons. Russell T Davies says Doctor Who provides alternative to very straight, very masculine, very testosterone mainstream sci-fi franchises. And I would love to know which sci-fi franchises he was talking about, because there's not much testosterone going around these days. But of course, he was on with a trans person on this Your Manchester interview. Your Manchester. He says he's talking about the inclusion and forcing, because just before we get onto this, we've mentioned this many times that we were already naturally moving towards regular progressive, i.e., there were shows like Will and Grace. Gay marriage was largely allowed in most places. We had a black president. We had basically gotten there. Racism was more or less gone. Humor was there. Were there examples? Sure. But by and large, we had conquered a lot of the problems, and then they actively regressed us. So here's Russell T Davies saying, I think it was just like nudging by 1% in that direction. But in 2025, and you also have to look at what the others are doing, science fiction franchises are very straight, very masculine, very testosterone-y. And so that's where Doctor Who can fill a space. And no, Doctor Who was a bit more than 1% nudging in that direction. And here's where I believe Russell T Davies realizes, or at least says out loud, of course, that they have actively harmed their own messaging, or whether he's saying he doesn't realize that's what he's saying, but that is what happened. So he says, he's talking about being passionate about that, because I am, and I actually think it's getting worse, and I think it's getting tougher. It is, and you guys are the reason. You pushed too hard, you Yas Queen too close to the sun, and now you actively are creating bigots and homophobes and racists and all the things just because, hey, fatigue. It ain't just black fatigue anymore. Do you remember just a few years ago, we had the arrogance to sort of say, oh, why do all these big companies support Pride? They're not allies. We were arrogant. Now they're dropping out. It's like, you idiots. Yeah, they're not dropping out because you said that. They're dropping out because they were actually never your allies. And the only reason, if you remember Occupy Wall Street, right? Almost had them before they were like, let's introduce identity politics, and started slapping pride flags everywhere. And you guys shut up, and you took your eye off the ball. You got too confident, and you said you girl boss too close to the sun. You Yas Queen too close to the sun. He goes on, this turns into a rant. At the time, I used to say, any bank or business that supports the Pride March, someone sat in a boardroom and defended us and our rights, and someone in that boardroom said, no, let's not do it. And someone won the argument, and they're supporting us. No, what happened is someone in a boardroom said, hey, let's get this bundle of sticks. Let's get these British meatballs, these and we'll use them, and we'll co-opt them, and we'll get them to work for us. And you dummies did it, hook, line, and sinker. Don't ever criticize an ally. Don't ever criticize someone who's giving money to sponsor do something else. Look at them pulling out now. We're going, where are they? Where are they? Because they're getting scared. They're getting scared of the whole trans argument. Yes, they do not want to butcher irreversibly children and turn them into lifelong medical patients. I agree that they should be scared of that. And this is where he talks about the backlash. He says, I've seen in my own lifetime a backlash that I never thought, well, actually, that's not true. I always thought our rights were paper thin. Rights were paper thin, to be absolutely honest. And if you look at my writing for the past 30 years, it's always been there, the belief that these paper thin rights can be taken away with one vote, with one English prime minister, certainly with one president. That's happening now. It's literally happening to us. Taking Harvey Milk's name off a ship in the American Navy, you cannot be more petty. Harvey Milk's name should not be on an American Navy ship. You know who should be on American Navy ships? Military heroes, not fucking pride activists from Long Beach. You know what Harvey Milk has? Harvey Milk has a fucking promenade over here that has homeless people peeing and sleeping on it. That's what Harvey Milk has. He doesn't need to be on a warship. And I elected of everything. That's what pissed him off, was that Harvey Milk got taken. Grow up, Russell. it's perfect. And then he says about children watching the show, it's perfectly safe for children to watch. It's like a family show, like a Pixar film. Yes. Replete with drag queens and lecturing of, as a male presenting doctor, you wouldn't understand my ugly tranny daughter. Yeah. And we wonder. So goodbye, Doctor Who. Literally, you can thank the people that built it up for destroying it and alienating all the fans, as they always do. They think they can replace you. They think they can replace your money, and they can't. They tried with all those companies and BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard, but guess what? That was temporary too. And now that money has dried up, shockingly, they've stopped supporting all of your horrible causes that scar and turn everyone into degenerates. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think about all this. Do you hope that rumor that Netflix and or Max is trying to get Doctor Who is true, if nothing else, just for the streaming? Or dear God, just let it go into a bunker somewhere and we'll look at it in a decade. If that, I don't know. Either way, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.